Hey there, YouTube family. I am traveling, as you guys can see. I'm not in my regular studio. I'm down in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm hanging out this morning with Keenan Grace and Stock Up with Larry Jones. We're attending Invest Fest. So far, we're having a great time. We all joked this morning. We were getting deep into the markets in our breakfast conversation. And I kept saying to these guys, I was like, man, if we just propped up a camera and shared this with the community, they would love it. But I'm going to give you guys some recaps. Everything is red. Now, I feel like we knew this. We knew that when Fed Powell came out and spoke today, the markets were going green right up into the conversation. It was an obvious fake out. I literally was sitting at breakfast while we were talking, 10 o'clock, right before Fed Powell came out to speak. I started buying some puts all across the board in my account. Right now, they're printing. The S&P 500, you guys can see, it's red across the board. It's an ugly day. Over in Bitcoin world and crypto world, everything is red. And that's specifically what I'm going to talk with you guys about. This is an opportunity while the markets are down. We haven't gone back to the lows that we recently touched. We're just coming off of this initial pop. And so it could be presenting a buying opportunity. And I'm going to give you guys some fresh technicals for the miners. I'm going to do a quick recap of Bitcoin, a couple thoughts on that. I'm going to do a follow-up video on some deeper analysis as to when Bitcoin is ultimately likely to turn around in the coming months, because we are 8 months away from the halving. And we know that at least 4 months towards the halving, Bitcoin's going to be drifting up in a pretty consistent way. And so I'm going to go deeper into that in a future video. But today I wanted to give you guys some fresh technicals on the miners because they're hitting some great areas of support. Now, I shared with you guys about a month ago when all the miners were lofty, Mara and Riot were up at $20. I said, guys, I came out, I did a video. I said, I just sold all my Mara and my Riot for profit. I said, you guys do what you want to do, but this is the top. And I gave you guys support. I gave 2 levels of support. It came all the way down to that lowest level of support. Now, today I'm going to tighten up those numbers. I'm going to refresh those levels of support because I think it could be a good time to begin to DCA into some of the miners, even if we don't get the big pop. It's going to be in the next 4 months. Even if we just get a pop off these lows, I think there's money to be potentially made in the miners. I'm going to freshen up the technicals for that. Like I said, this is the Stocks with Josh show. If you want to get this type of content every day on the stock and crypto market, you got to hit the subscribe and the YouTube all notification bell. All right, I want to take a step back and just talk about the overall crypto market for a moment. Guys, back in 2000, just 3 years ago, Bitcoin was only at $4,000. People are sitting there panicking about their Bitcoin and their crypto. And ADA was at 3 cents just a handful of years ago. Even at its beaten down state, coming down off of $3.11, the fact that we are between 30 cents and 40 cents when just 4 years ago this was at 3 cents is a reminder of the fact that crypto has been a pretty good investment. Bitcoin just a handful of years ago was at $4,000, and today it's sitting between 20 and 30,000. So don't get too bearish on crypto, especially when you compare it to other assets. Nothing else has done that. Apple hasn't done that. Nvidia hasn't done that. No other asset has made that type of move in just the last 4 years. So let's just keep that into perspective, especially as we're getting ready to go into the next phase of the Bitcoin bull run. We're going to be far above $30,000 over the course of the next year because that's the cycle. It has been consistently doing that, and I personally believe it's going to continue to do that. But let's just talk about the crash that we had recently. So we were about 30 days ago at around $29,000. We were there at August 1st. Bitcoin, it took a steep dive going all the way down in recent days to 25,350. Within a 24-hour window, $1 billion in value got wiped out. Bitcoin flashed down 5.2% overall, but within 2 hours, it fully recovered. And so I just want to say, guys, we keep having these flash downs. But they recover very, very quickly. Since the start of August, Bitcoin has lost $4,340, near a 15% drop, nowhere near as bad as many of the Magnificent Seven. So yes, Bitcoin is still outperforming at least half of the Magnificent Seven. We came very close to that $25,000 critical level. So why is $25,000 critical, and why do we want to see it stay above? it would create a cascade of liquidations because there's a lot of people that got in at the $25,000 level, and so that is a critical level. We saw in this recent flash down that it came down 25,400, but it immediately recovered after that. And so the big question is, why is it happening? Why are we getting these flash sales? For one reason, the overall market's been correcting. Bitcoin really hadn't corrected, and so it seems to have produced that correction in a very short amount of time, but then it quickly recovered. The big news events surrounding Bitcoin, one of them was that SpaceX sold their bags. You guys have heard that. Another one was that Evergrande collapse was causing there to be a scramble for liquidation out in China. But like I said, probably the number one reason is that it is still aligned with the NASDAQ. It's considered a high-risk asset, and the NASDAQ has gone into correction territory, so it made sense that Bitcoin would come under some selling pressure as well. And I also mentioned this in a recent video that the year before the halving event, which we are just 8 months away from the next Bitcoin halving event, in the August-September timeframe, Bitcoin always has some form of a flash sell-off that quickly recovers. And so going into August, we knew that we would likely see something like that, and we could take the interpretation that that was it. That was the flash sell-off that's very typical, a fake out right before the halving event that is a typical cyclical pattern. But like I said, Bitcoin is outperforming the majority of big tech. It's still 60% up so far this year. And when it had that flash down sale, and now this is a really interesting technical for you guys to look at with your own eyes, that Bitcoin became very oversold, which is a buy signal. It fell into the oversold territory during this last week, as bad as it had been back in 2020 when we had the COVID drop. That produces a buy signal. It's sort of a reset. So we're not up at the highs. Remember, still with Apple, we're actually kind of still up on our highs. Nvidia still up on its highs. And here we have Bitcoin perhaps moving the fastest out of all the Magnificent Seven, doing a quick flash sell-off, giving us that oversold signal, which was a buy signal. Today's main focus of this video is going to be about the miners. Real quick, let me take a quick station break for the moomoo investment app. Moomoo is a zero commission trading platform that's currently offering up to 16 free stocks and a $50 cash bonus. I host a chat group on the moomoo app called Stock Josh Fam. We talk stocks and crypto there every day, but I specifically use and like the moomoo app for all of its tools. It's got 8 conditional order types, the best earnings calendar out there, a stock screener to help you find stocks on the move. So get better trade tools, get some free stock, get your cash, then come find us in the chat group. All right, so with this flash sale potentially behind us, this extreme oversold condition potentially behind us, this could be setting up for a move with the miners. And so I'm going to go through some of the miners. Now, I'm going to just list off the miners. I'm going to not talk about all of them, but these are a list of miners that I do keep on my watch list: Mara, Riot, Hut8, Bitfarms, Hive, BitDigital, and CleanSpark. So the goal is to look at what the support and resistance and potential take profit are for these. All right, let's get into it. I want to start off with Mara. Here's an interesting technical that you need to be aware of. Even though Mara's been coming down in price, the volume of that sell-off has been significantly decreasing. The other day, the volume was less than 42% of the typical volume. So that often signals a reversal that's coming. It means that the selling pressure is getting lower and lower on these. And I think that makes sense because we're getting closer and closer to strategic support on Mara. So the max support below is at $9.72. So mark that on your calendar. When I say max support, it might be a pretty good spot to buy. And I think that Mara's got a really good chance of shooting back up to $16 as far as an upward target. But if we go into another Bitcoin down cycle, or if Bitcoin just continues to move sideways, Mara does have the ability to go down as low as $8. So be aware of that extreme. And then we've got Riot. Now, the volume on Riot's also been going down. It's been dropping up to 40% off of typical daily volume. And I see a nice, I'm going to call it the max support on Riot at $9.75. I think you guys could be buying now and down to $9.75. Now, Riot actually has more resistance to the upside, so it does not have as clean of a shot up as Mara does. So I see resistance on Riot at $11.80. $13.60, and then if it breaks through those two, it could hit $16, but it actually has the ability to go a little bit higher than Mara. It could actually go up to $18. Now, these could go higher, but I think that these are the realistic targets before a potential downturn again. An additional support for Riot after that would be around $8.40. And let's get into Hut8. Hut8 Also, Hut 8's been coming down, but on significantly less volume. It had a reduction in volume of 49%, even less sell pressure on Hut 8. I see support below at $1.94, and then beneath that, $1.75. And I see resistance above at $2.90, $3.10, and then $3.50. I'm actually most bullish on the Hut 8 chart right now. Then you've got Hive, and that's the last one I'm going to cover for you guys today. It dropped on 23% lower volume. Support below is at $3.40, $3.10, and then $2.70. And then going in the upward direction, we've got resistance at $4.70, $5, and $5.75. So I actually think all of these are looking pretty attractive right now. I've been doing a little bit of DCA into my favorite. Let me know in the comment section which are your favorite. I'm traveling. I've got some sun in my eyes. It's not my typical setup, but I wanted to get these technicals out for you because for me, I think these are presenting an opportunity right now. Yes, we're going to be having a pullback today, and yes, it could sell off, but I think we're barely coming back to the lows, which we just hit last Thursday. And so I think it's going to be an opportunity for there to be another pop after this. But I'll do a follow-up video on what it's looking like, and we'll take it one day at a time. Again, thanks for hitting the like. Hit the subscribe if you want to get that next video. Peace and blessings. We'll see you soon.